hello again, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. So glad that you are with us this evening. I hope that everyone had a terrific, thirsty Thursday. Um, one more day to go, folks. And do me one small favor, please. Hit that little thumb. That is the like button. That tells YouTube that you are most assuredly enjoying the content that you are viewing. And hopefully, we can trigger the YouTube algorithm and possibly maybe they'll bring some more people into the conversation. Who knows what they may do? So I'll give a few more people time to join the live chat and, and then we'll get started. If you are familiar with this subject matter, please go ahead and type yes in the comment section. All right. So I'm going to give you a few moments here. I always have people that come in, oh no, I'm late, I missed something. And I'm going to give you just a few more moments to get started here. And if you have Facebook or other forms of social media, please do me another small favor and share this stream out on your various forms of social media. I would greatly appreciate that. All right, I'll go ahead and do the roll call. If you would like for me to call your name during the roll call, all you need to do is type at one word or hello, or you could also um, type an emoji. That way I can see that you are here. If not, I can just see that there are people here, but I don't know who is here specifically. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and start with the roll call. Florida, how are you doing, love? Glad that you're here. Isaiah's here. How are you doing, love? And there are a few other people here. I don't know who, but that's fine. Just hit the like button for us, folks. Okay. Now, in the comment section, if you will, um, tell me if you heard this news today, and if you've been listening or paying any type of attention, you know that this situation between the Trump administration and Harvard University is definitely escalating. So, just in case you've been busy and you haven't quite been keeping up, I'll just go over a little bit of the history. And we know, a lot of universities are upset because of the, uh, you know, Doge and the money that's being cut. Some people are losing jobs, and so people are a little bit angry, right? So let's go ahead and get this started. First of all, I would like to start with again, for those that haven't been paying attention, I'll go, I'll just briefly touch on some of the underlying tensions. Of course, there's political differences. Um, and the conflict, of course, is sort of rooted in differing political ideologies and values. And we know Harvard is one of the elite universities. We know they promote liberal viewpoints. Also, allegedly, harboring anti American and anti Semitic sentiments on their campuses. And those that don't know, pretty much all American universities, you have a lot of people from other countries, right? So this is going to greatly impact Harvard. Also, the free speech and protest on campuses, protests on university campuses, particularly those related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Of course, that has definitely been a source of tension. Um, And Harvard feels that the Trump administration has criticized them as well as other universities for allegedly failing to adequately address anti-Semitism and harassment of Jewish students during the protests. And we know, again, unless you've been living up under a rock, you know that's kind of been going on. American freedom versus the government oversight, you know, that situation. Conflict raises fundamental questions about the balance between academic freedom and government oversight of higher education. We know there's definitely a clash there. Um, and Harvard, of course, has been arguing that the administration is attempting to exert undue influence over academic decision making while the administration maintains its acting to protect students and ensure compliance with federal law. So this happened today, but it's their own fault for not complying. So now they're crying foul. They failed to follow um, the rules that were set forth for them. So that's the problem. If you're just coming in, hit the like button. Like I said, I'm going over some of the history because there's been so much going on. You may have missed something, right? So commitment to diversity and inclusion. Harvard has publicly reaffirmed its commitment to DEI. We know that the Trump administration, of course, we talked about that, is abolishing that, right? And many American businesses, companies, you know, following suit. And of course, that's in opposition to what the Trump administration is doing. Okay. So universities, you know, they're taking steps to address concerns about, they said they were taking steps to address concerns about anti-Semitism and bias on campus, lawsuits against the administration, university. So if you're familiar with this, folks, type yes. If some of this is ringing a bell, like I said, it has been a lot going on. That's why I'm giving you this background before we jump into the subject matter at hand. So lawsuits against the administration. University has filed multiple lawsuits challenging the administration's actions, including the freeze on federal funding. We know that's a big deal. And the termination of the student visa program. Harvard argues that the administration's actions are unlawful and retaliatory. Rejection of demands. Harvard has firmly rejected the administration's demands, arguing that they infringe upon academic freedom and the university's independence. So again, how you doing, Caesar and Tina? How you doing, both of you? I hope you're having a terrific Thirsty Thursday. Hit that like button, folks. Share this stream out on your various forms of social media, please. It is greatly appreciated. Those who are just coming in, tell me what your thoughts are. Baldwin Birds, Isaiah, Florida, tell me what your thoughts are in reference to the topic that we are currently discussing, okay? And so now we know with the revocation of the student visa program, most recently, the Trump administration revoked Harvard's certification in the student and exchange visitor program, effectively barring the university from enrolling international students. And this action was justified by claims that Harvard had failed to address, again, anti-Semitism, had not provided sufficient information about foreign students' conduct. So they were basically hiding information that they were supposed to provide to the Trump administration, allegedly. Investigations and scrutiny. The administration has launched several investigations into Harvard, including inquiries into potential anti-Semitism on campus. So you see, we keep going to the anti-Semitism, right? Disclosures of foreign gifts and compliance with the Supreme Court's ruling against affirmative action. The Department of Homeland Security has also investigated the university's international student enrollment. And again, allegedly, they're not wanting to provide the information like that, you know, like it's private. But if the administration is asking you for information and you're saying, no, 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 things are not going to bode well for you. Tina, dealing with all these Palestinian protests at all these universities, I agree with this. We don't need international students, right? Tina, there's a lot going on. And who knows, someone may come under the guise of being a student and commit some form of terrorism. We don't know. Caesar said, I celebrated my 59th birthday yesterday. Oh my goodness, Caesar. Oh my goodness. I wish I had gone live. Everyone, please wish Caesar a happy birthday. Caesar, email me. And if you have Cash App or Venmo, I can send you a little something. You can buy yourself a little piece of birthday cake, maybe, and a drink or something. Who knows? I will add my LSIBERT. I'm sending you my email address. Okay. All right. So that's an L, not an I. I have to tell people that because they think, oh, I emailed you. And I'm like, I didn't get it. All right. So there you go. So I hope you had a wonderful birthday, Caesar, with many more to come in the future. So this has all been going on. The relationship between Harvard University and the Trump administration has again been contentious, and it's escalating by the minute. So, and we know, just like I was saying with these sanctuary cities, all you have to do is cut federal funding, and that will stop a lot. So we know, yes, Harvard is an elite university, but they can't make it without federal dollars. So threats to federal funding, the Trump administration has threatened to withhold billions with a B of dollars in federal funding from Harvard. This includes those of you who've been to a four-year university, you know there's lots and lots, millions and as we see billions of dollars as it relates to research funding. So they can't make it without that, right? This includes research grants, potentially even universities' tax exempt status. That's a big deal, folks. Wow. So, and of course, the administration is asked Harvard to make significant changes to its curriculum, admissions policies, hiring practices, particularly concerning, again, DEI initiatives. The administration has also demanded increased viewpoint diversity, because we know on Harvard's campus, just like so many others, there's only one viewpoint, and we know what that is. So we'll see where this goes. So like I said, just wanted to give you a little bit of the history. Now we can get into the subject matter at hand. Now, if you look up on the screen, I'm going to read this and then I'm going to open this up. How you doing, Chicago Hood? How you doing, love? You did tell me you were going to make it. We're glad you're here. Everyone say hello to Chicago Hood. Yes, Robert, this happened today. Okay. This happened today. And so again, it's been escalating, this situation. Okay. How you doing, Rich? Yes, Rich, like Beyonce, to the left, to the left. Okay. Yeah, Rob, this happened today, dear. Chicago Hood, so glad you're here, love. Ruby, how are you doing, dear? I don't think taking away government funding is going to hurt Harvard. They have an endowment of over 30 billion. Yeah, I mean, they'll still, it would affect them, Ruby, but them, again, with the endowments that they have, not so much as some of the other universities that don't have such a large endowment. All right, so Charlie Kirk said, wow, this DHS letter from Kristi Noem to Harvard is pretty extraordinary. Not only does it prohibit Harvard from enrolling foreign students moving forward, any currently enrolled foreign students will have to transfer to other universities to maintain their status. So, folks, this is significant. This is very significant. I'm going to open up the Homeland Security letter so you can see it. I just wanted to finish reading Charlie Kirk's post. This decertification also means that existing aliens on F or J non-immigrant status must transfer to another university in order to maintain their non-immigrant status. So, folks, yeah, this is significant. Noem's letter claims that Harvard has refuted. This is what I'm saying. Now they're crying foul, but listen to what they did not do. Noem's letter claims that Harvard has refused to comply with multiple, so not just once, but several times, okay, DHS requests for information about its foreign student population's harassment of Jewish students, as well as its DEI initiatives. They have 72 hours to comply, or the prohibition will remain. This would basically be a death penalty for Harvard as a top global academic institution. So, Ruby, this is what I was talking about. They're not complying. And of course, they've been used to doing whatever they want to do, right? Of course. All right, so here it is. Tube State, how you doing? Hit the like button for me, please, folks. Share this on your various forms of social media, please. How's Chicago Hood? You're just fine, love. You're here all the time. You're just fine, dear. So this is the actual letter from Homeland Security. And as you can see, it's dated today. So again, this happened today. Tina, they're invited to come over here and get an education. They come over here, tear the universities up and threaten people. Tina, right. And then Harvard University and American University won't provide the administration with this information, because they're probably going to get these people out of here. But you know how the leftist loonies, you're not taking their illegals, or then obviously not just illegals, but you're not taking their students, their foreign students either. Oh, Tube State, glad you're here, dear. So this is the actual letter. Harvard Student and Exchange Visitor Program decertification. I'm writing to inform you that effective immediately, Harvard University Student and Exchange Visitor Program certification is revoked. So as you can see, folks, this is escalating between Trump as well as Harvard. And no one's backing down. And so far, no one has blinked. Not yet. So as I explained to you in my April letter, it is a privilege to enroll foreign students, and it is also a privilege to employ aliens on campus. All universities must comply with Department of Homeland Security requirements, including reporting requirements under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program regulations, to maintain this privilege. As a result of your refusal to comply with multiple requests to provide the Department of Homeland Security pertinent information while perpetrating an unsafe campus environment that is hostile to Jewish students, promotes pro-Hamas sympathies, and employs racist diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, you have lost this privilege. The revocation of your student and exchange visitor program certification means that Harvard is prohibited from having any aliens on F or J non-immigrant status for the 2025-2026 academic school year. So by them not complying, folks, and they had, how you doing, Bakmari? James, how are you? Right, James said finally. James, it looks like the Ivy League colleges will have to admit an idiot like me. Oh, James. How you doing, Chris? Tina, yeah, because they've always been allowed to do what they want, right? So this is significant. Look at all the people that it is going to affect. And again, how you doing, Theo's father? And so they had multiple chances and they did not. So this is the result. And look at all the students that have just been thrown into disarray. Here, where are we here? So it says this decertification also means that existing aliens on F or J non-immigrant status must transfer to another university in order to maintain their non-immigrant status. This action should not surprise you and is the unfortunate result of Harvard's failure to comply with simple reporting requirements. So again, they had multiple chances and they were like, nah, we're not giving you that information. So this is the result. So now they're all online upset, but this, okay. That's why I have the actual letter here. On April 16th, 2025, I requested records pertaining to non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard University, including information regarding misconduct and other offenses that would render foreign students inadmissible or removable. So basically, the students who are causing problems, Homeland Security is going to try to get them out of here. But Harvard will not provide the records. Okay. On April 30th, 2025, Harvard's counsel provided information that he represented as responsive to my request. It was not. As a courtesy that Harvard was not legally entitled to, the acting DHS general counsel responded on my behalf and afforded Harvard another opportunity to comply. Harvard again provided an insufficient response. Consequences must follow to send a clear signal to Harvard and all universities that want to enjoy the privilege of enrolling foreign students that the Trump administration will enforce the law and root out the evils of anti-Americanism and anti-Semitism in society and campuses. All right, folks, what do you think about this? Yes, Tina, I hope so. Caesar, they come to America and do foolish things they wouldn't dare do in their own country. Caesar, the things that they say and do here, if they did in their own country, they would come up missing. No one would ever hear from these people again. All right. They would just disappear. Just boom, just gone. Okay. So again, they come here and do things, right, that they would never do in their own country. Chicago Hood, they are turning out people like the guy from Chicago who killed that young innocent couple last night at a DC Jewish event. So sad. And they weren't even Jewish, they were Christian, right? But they're not anything that the administration is asking or requesting. They're just, the entire time they're just non-compliant. And so the foreign students are going to have to suffer. But hey, who made that choice? And they had more than one opportunity to provide the information that was being requested. Hit the like button, folks. Share this stream out on your various forms of social media. I greatly appreciate it. If you are enjoying this content and you have not already subscribed, please do so at this time. Thank you. Make sure you have subscribed and hit all notifications. Tina, under the Democrats' authority, we have no respect in this country. American citizens have been run over. All right. Facts. All right. So I have some videos to share with you now. I'm done with sharing that. Type in the comment section, folks, what your thoughts are. And again, now they're crying foul, but they would not adhere to the rules and the guideline. They would not provide the information that was requested. And now they're crying. All right. So I'll share a couple of videos with you. Again, they're crying foul, but it's their own fault. So let me go and show you a video here. Okay. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks. I've given you my review, but I want to know what your thought process is. And again, they've had the opportunity. So now they're crying foul. Barnes Homestead, how are you doing? Barnes said, let them cry. So, yeah, they had multiple opportunities and they did not do that. And so, sorry, not sorry. And they're going to have to adhere to, rules and guidelines just like the rest of America. And all you had to do was provide the information. They would not do it. All right, I have a video here to share with you. And tell me what you think about that as well. Once we have viewed it, of course. Drop. Okay. Tina said 100% facts. Okay. All right. So here we go. Tina said, shouldn't we be able to get a court order and get the records anyway? And Tina, we know when the government is asking you for something, I don't know why you're stalling and oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. They will get it. Okay. So you're not preventing anything. You may be prolonging it, but they're going to get what they're looking for eventually. Or again, now you're destroying, students' lives because now they can't attend foreign students can't attend your university. Who did that? That's your fault. All right, let's get the video going, folks, and see what she's saying here.
To do with the Trump administration telling Harvard University it cannot enroll international students. So no doubt about it, delivering a major blow to the school after the government, you might recall, also had frozen billions of dollars of federal funding and really escalating a fight that we are seeing between the United States and Harvard and other elite colleges, but really kind of taking this to a whole other level, Tim.
We got Kasia Klimashinska, team leader for DC Breaking News, joining us from our Washington, DC bureau. Carol read the headlines, Kasia, but I'm wondering about sort of, we're seeing the reaction, we're seeing the interest. Everybody's talking about this story right now. Is this the type of thing that is going to get legal pushback? Are lawyers already working on this to try to prevent this from happening? Or can the administration actually make Harvard do this?
Yeah, great questions. Thank you for having me. Indeed, this is currently them on the on the terminal, and really a surprising new development, a major escalation where the Trump administration is basically telling Harvard they cannot enroll international students. Not only that, but also the currently enrolled foreign students have to transfer or they will lose their legal status. Harvard has already responded saying that they will fight it, that they obviously don't agree with this decision. So there will be definitely more to come.
You know, what's interesting, Kasia, like we've been seeing all of this play out, and I feel like universities have been trying to figure out what's the right balance in terms of dealing with the administration over it. I feel like money trumps everything, and financially we are continuing to see impacts on universities because of what the administration is doing, pulling federal funding. But I look at Harvard, I mean, we keep reading the statistic, almost 6,800 students at Harvard, 27% of the entire student body come from other countries. That's up from just under 20% back in 2006. This is looking at the university's data. I mean, this becomes a bigger and bigger financial blow to the university. And you do wonder at this point, do universities in general, Harvard included, are going to fight back even harder because this is about money it comes down to, also in terms of principles.
Yeah, exactly. So this is more than a quarter of all their students. I think it's also interesting that this is the Department of Homeland Security getting involved. The statement earlier this hour came from the DHS, which was citing, right, the protests, the fact that they blame the Harvard leadership for not being able to keep its campus basically safe and putting some students at risk.
Yeah.
And Tijuana, thank you for the super chat, love. I just sent some hearts in the comment section for you. Tijuana, and those of you who are just joining, make sure once I end the live stream that you go back and check replay at the very beginning. And we're glad, Tijuana, that you made it. I don't care how late you are. You come on in. We're glad. But make sure you go back, because I went over the history of Harvard University as against the Trump administration. And because some people, you get busy, you forget things because there's so much going on in the news. I broke it down, and now this happened today. All right. Type in the comment section what your thoughts are in reference to this situation with Harvard University versus the Trump administration. Caesar, most of the ultra-progressive universities have lost all credibility with many Americans because of this kind of insanity. Caesar, you're right. You're absolutely right. And then, people go there, they get in all kinds of debt, and then they want someone else to pay for it. How you doing, Anthony? Bach Mari. And a lot of these Ivy League schools are not poor schools. They do not need our tax money. Yeah, they're tax exempt, Bach Mari. All right. And they just been allowed, of course, to do whatever they wanted to do. Tijuana said, defund Harvard. They have endowments from rich fools. Tijuana's not, no lies are detected in what you said. Exactly. And you know, they're the elites. They know everything. I will continue.
I'm thinking about all the Harvard alumni in Congress right now. Harvard Law actually has an article on their website post-election touting the fact that all Harvard Law alumni running for re-election to Congress won their races, while 5 more alumni vied to join their ranks. They talked about incumbents in the U.S. House of Representatives. They also talked about Republican Ted Cruz, Tim Kaine, who were re-elected to the Senate, in addition to other alumni from Harvard Law School. Have we heard anything yet at this point from either Democrats or Republicans who were alums of Harvard University? Elise Stefanik, for example, who's been very critical of the school, Republican member from New York of the House. Have we heard anything from them since this came out?
It came out less than an hour ago, so I haven't seen anything here yet on the breaking news desk. You might, it's not only people in Congress, it's also major donors, right, on both sides. So I'm sure this story will continue to escalate.
Talk a little bit more about this coming from the Department of Homeland Security. Like, it's just interesting. It's kind of playing into kind of the safety element, right? We've seen this kind of being used, I feel like, in terms of security reasons. We've seen this with immigration in general. Like, that thinking and philosophy that continues to come from the administration, again, that I guess will also be discussed in any kind of legal arguments.
Yes, this timing is really interesting and really strange, given what happened here in DC overnight as well. And the statement actually specifically cites Jewish students. It's also kind of weird that the statement landed just after Caroline Leavitt finished her briefing, so that kind of didn't allow us to ask her more questions, even though obviously you must have been aware of it happening, because apparently there were some papers going back and forth between the Trump administration and the school for several days or even weeks now. So yes, this is definitely an interesting timing for this announcement.
I'm also thinking, and I know you're covering breaking news, but I'm also thinking about just the educational impact of a move such as this, given the numbers that Carol mentioned, thousands of students there, close to 30% of the entire student body. This is the type of thing that could potentially wreak havoc on a university's finances, but also in such a short period of time where ostensibly acceptance letters have already been mailed out. We understand the yield of the class coming in. The timing of this is pretty wild.
Yes, it's really strange and difficult. It's not only about the new students, but also existing students who will have to transfer or, lose their legal status. So that means losing their visa, possibly being forced to go back home. Yes, and it's not only about the finances, right, but also about the diversity of the campus. I mean, we know that the school has been previously attacked for their diversity efforts. So this also addresses that issue of the diversity of the student body.
Kasia, one last question. It's interesting that it feels like Harvard is being attacked big time. We've seen it also with Columbia and some other schools, but it does feel like, makes me wonder, like, who didn't get into Harvard and the administration that's like so angry? But I know it's a bigger, broader story. Having said that, should we assume that other schools will be targeted in a similar way as Harvard is being?
So I think this is what is very surprising about this news, right? That it singles out this one school and goes after its leadership. So I think we have to see. We have yet to find out whether the DHS will go after other schools.
Yeah. So Shadow Seeker says, defund them until they teach science and fact-based education and not just degrees that people will never get a job with. Facts. How you doing, Darnell? Robert, they're crying because they can't get their way. Yes, Tijuana, that would be great if it would work for public schools as well. I would love that. Oh my God, Chicago Hood. Ever notice how all the delusional libs are really weird looking? They usually have big bug eyes and look plain crazy. They're possessed and or controlled by demons. I'm convinced. Chicago Hood. Oh God, Barnes. Says they've gotten away with so much for so long, and they used to. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Barnes. This is probably the first time some of them have ever been denied anything in their life. Yeah, that's why they're losing it. because they always get their way. And now it's not working out for them. And guess what? Cry me a river. So whatever. Again, they had multiple chances, and they decided not to provide the information. So sorry, not sorry. They made a choice, and so they have to live with it now. And the students are caught in the crossfire. How you doing, Tut Wheat? Hit the like button for me, love. All right. Now, remember, just 3 weeks ago, Trump had reversed his decision. And it was just a month ago that he threatened to do this. So again, they had time to rectify the situation. They chose not to. Let me go back and show you this video. Hold on. Okay, let me make sure we're on the same page here. But yeah, they had an opportunity and they decided not to do what they were supposed to do. And now the students are suffering. They're going to suffer. They're going to have, those of you just joined in the chat, they will have to leave the country or transfer to another university. Yes, Steve, I'm convinced. The universities are not being attacked. What's been allowed at the university is a problem. Yes, Tina. The irony of the liberal privileged left. Womp, womp. Yes, Shadow Seeker. So remember when this was going on. So look, they've had over a month to take care of this, and they did not.
The Trump administration is ramping up the pressure on Harvard University after it refused to submit to more government oversight. One of the newest targets, students from other countries. Nikki Batiste is here with that story. Nikki, good morning.
Good morning. The Department of Homeland Security is threatening to prevent Harvard University from enrolling foreign students. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is giving the university until the end of the month to turn over detailed records of foreign student visa holders' quote, illegal and violent activities. If the school refuses, she says Harvard will lose its certification, allowing the enrollment of foreign students. Noem claims Harvard, quote, fuels a cesspool of extremist riots and threatens our national security. She also canceled more than $2.7 million in grants from DHS. Earlier this week, Harvard refused to meet the Trump administration's other demands, which included sharing hiring and admissions data. In response, President Trump's administration froze more than $2 billion in federal funding to the school and proposed the IRS revoke the school's tax-exempt status, something the agency is reportedly considering. A Harvard spokesperson told CBS News the university is aware of Secretary Noem's letter and stands by its prior statement that the university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights. The spokesperson added Harvard, quote, will continue to comply with the law and expects the Trump administration to do the same.
So again, folks, this was a month ago. They had time to comply. They chose not to. So don't come crying to me. Right, Shadow Seeker? Exactly. And again, who knows? If someone is planning or plotting against, the U.S. and they come here under the guise of being a student, you don't know. And they won't provide the information. So, hey, sorry, not sorry. What are your thoughts on this, folks? Let me share, see if I can share another clip with you, and then we'll get out of here. But yeah, they're upset. I had one more video to share with you. Oh my God. And they were just losing their mind. Let me find this video. I'll show this last video and then here it is. We're done. All right. Hit that like button for me, please, folks. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Okay. So I wanted to show you this. And they're saying Trump's trying to break Harvard. Only American students allowed. So they're, not. How you doing, Fridge Reaver? Not liking what's going on. Let's listen to this.
To the feed, we appreciate your subscriptions. We welcome international students and viewers. All right, JVL, what are your first reactions to this?
It's a really big deal. It is a continuing attempt to threaten the economics of Harvard. I mean, the Trump administration has basically said, we want to own Harvard. We want to be the shadow hand that makes all decisions at Harvard. They want help. They would like to have guidance over who Harvard lets in, who Harvard rejects, who Harvard hires, what teachers are hired at Harvard.
So you see their point of view. I don't need to say anything. Just listen. How you doing, Fridge Reaver and Waymond?
And what they teach. And to impose this, what they've said is like anywhere that Harvard touches the government, we are going to use that as leverage against you. And so this is grants and funding. Harvard's a gigantic institution, right? I mean, there are grants coming into biomedical research being done in Harvard.
Sure.
And what the Trump administration has said is, we want to know what your undergraduate courses are. And if you don't tell us that, or you don't allow us to have veto power over your undergrad course offerings, then we will not say fund this research study going over on some other part of campus. When that hasn't worked, they have threatened with removing tax exempt status for the entire institution. And where that has not worked, they are now attacking Harvard's ability to enroll foreign students. And the reason this matters is because foreign students at the university level pay full freight. And this is true no matter where you are, whether it's your community college, state school, Ivy League school. If you're a foreign student, you're paying full price tuition. And that, not at Harvard, but at other schools, what that does is it allows them to give financial aid to American students.
Just for some data points, the number of international students that are attending Harvard has gone up significantly since 2006. Back then, it was about a 19.6% of the total enrollment were made up of international students. That was about 3,940. In 2024, 2025, that number had gone up to 6,793, which was roughly 27.2% of total enrollment. Now, that's a lot. That's not nothing. And if they're paying full tuition, that's a sizable chunk. But Harvard's got a huge endowment. People who look at the Harvard endowment say, well, they can get by with that. And certainly they can fill some of these slots. There's plenty of people who want to go to Harvard who are not international students. It's not that they're going to have to cut slots. So how significant is this from a financial perspective?
So none of this is from Harvard's perspective. They're going to be fine. And this is, as you say, I mean, Harvard is one of a handful of schools that could simply make tuition free for everybody and still be absolutely economically viable. There's even been movements to do that at Harvard and some of the other top schools. But you have to understand, so this is all part of, again, Trump's administration's attempts to break Harvard. So this follows what happened in April was Trump demanded to have a series of document dumps from Harvard about their foreign students. And so they wanted to know what courses these students were taking. They wanted Harvard to report their activities. I mean, really, it is like the lives of others. Like the Trump administration wanted Harvard to be reporting on their students in order to finger who are the good ones and who are the bad ones. Bad ones being anybody whose politics they don't like, for instance. And the Harvard resisted this, and that is why. And so because Harvard wouldn't inform on their own students, Trump has just said, okay, well, then you can't have any foreign students enrolled at all.
I'm probably pushing my boundaries here, but what does the immigration law actually say about the government's ability to say, yeah, I'm sure we can restrict visas, but are they allowed to just sort of pinpoint what institutions are allowed to use and get student visa recipients? I don't know.
We're going to find out.
Exactly. Harvard does have some lawyers who I think will fight this one. The thing that strikes me is obviously it's about Harvard specifically, but it's just continuing this whole notion of like, we're really just destroying our academic institutions and science in America. I mean, if you are a domestic, a U.S. citizen who wants to go to school and study science and go into that field, they've really sapped some of the opportunities for that by just restricting the amount of federal money that's available for grants. Now, if you're an international student who has real promise in scientific research or any,
and there's so many other universities as well as community colleges. So don't go to Harvard for the name and then go get in thousands and thousands of dollars worth of debt. All right, and then turn around and try to get the taxpayer to pay for it. Shadow Seeker says, I haven't heard anything about that except that it's a private for-profit college, billionaire college with big pharma ties, fraud. They are paid to not solve medical problems. Exactly. They don't want to solve the medical problem, Shadow Seeker. Big pharma does not want to lose our money. Chicago said, let the rich pay for themselves. Exactly. Tuckweed, Harvard also has been accused of selling degrees allegedly. Yeah, and then with the legacy, people being admitted, okay, that's an issue. So they got rid of affirmative action, but what about the legacy? People who are famous, famous athletes or celebrities, and their children are admitted because of who the parents are or grandparents. So they're still doing that, Shadow Seeker. The Democrats are all in a circle of fraud. I wish as a disabled person that NGOs helped people. But since I have needed help this month, I can tell you firsthand that they are fraudulent. Okay, Shadow Seeker. They only have money to pay protectors now, not help Americans. Oh, wow. All right, here we go.
The postgrads or anything like that, medical research, you're now restricted from going to at least one of these major universities, the major university in America. The idea that this country is going to be a inviting climate for some of the best and brightest is far-fetched. We're ruining that. And I think that has a very profound impact for not just like next year, but for 5, 10, 15 years down the road, because you need that certainty.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you, if you were a smart kid from South Korea or from Brazil or any other place, why wouldn't you just go to Cambridge? You want a career in the West? Yeah, you want a career in the West, you go do your research someplace else now. You don't want to go to a country where who knows what will happen to you, right? You get nabbed off the street. You could be there perfectly legally, and then America could, in secret, change your legal status. Instead of telling you got to go home, they could just, again, literally grab you off the street, maybe get shot during the arrest or not, who knows, right?
Or you write an op-ed that they don't like. On some sort of geopolitical issue.
Right. And you don't know where the lines are.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, right? I mean, nobody is certain. It's not like, hey, you can go to America, just don't break any laws. Because it's not even about law breaking, right? Nobody knows what the lines are, which could get you in trouble. It's really bad. I am interested, Sam, why do you think the Trump administration picked on Harvard? Because I got to say, they were very smart in how they attacked the law firms, right? Like going after Paul Weiss was smart, I think. They understood that there is a level at which with elite law firms, you can find the people who are weak, you can hurt them, and then that'll make it easier to roll the stronger firms as you go on.
Yeah.
At the university level, like Columbia is sort of, the sick impala in the herd, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Harvard is like, I don't know, like I got to think that Harvard is the last institution that would crack.
Yeah, Harvard's a little too precious of their reputation to crack, right? They don't want to be seen that way. My sense is probably that they thought that if you could break Harvard, then everyone else would fall in line, and so you go for it, right? And the report and the contemporaneous reporting on it was that they accidentally sent the demand letters, like they hadn't fully cleared it, and like they went for some pretty far-reaching demands, as you articulated, and Harvard was just in an impossible situation. They said no, and now you have a situation, frankly, where this administration would never back down. It's just not in their MO. And
Yeah.
so they have to constantly escalate. I think you wrote a column about this, about how you always up the ante until like you just basically, the person on the other side of the table says, I can't play anymore. Right. Like that's the situation here. And I am curious if Harvard has a breaking point. What would it be? I mean, this is pretty bad, honestly, but I don't know if this is where they break. At some point, though, there must be a breaking point.
So here's the thing. I don't think Harvard can be broken. I think
Really?
Harvard is simply too big.
Too big.
We will see, won't we, folks? Tell me in the comment section what you think about this conversation, folks. It's almost done. Then we're going to get out of here.
Big to break?
I mean, it's such a I mean, honestly, if Harvard lost its tax exempt status, it would be fine. It would be, you know, like the most significant employer in the state of Massachusetts. I mean, the amount of power it has, the amount of resources it has, it's like picking a fight with General Motors in 1960 or something. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just too big.
Yeah.
And it just seems like the first really significant strategic error from the Trump administration's attempt to break civil society. I think they've been very smart in everything else they've done. And I just think they misjudged what Harvard's resources and powers are.
So how do you think Harvard responds to this one? Obviously, they're going to challenge it in court, right?
But challenge in court.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the question is, do the courts break? And maybe that's the gamble, right? Maybe the Trump administration's gamble was this will ultimately be decided by courts. And if we're rolling the dice on that anyway, why not roll the dice on the biggest gorilla?
So you could see a situation
right?
where they play a little bit dirty, right? And they say, okay, we're not going to accept any of the kids of prominent Trump supporters. We're not going to take any. You have a cabinet official whose kid wants them, enroll here. Good luck. I mean, that would be the real dirty pool, but I don't know if
they won't do that.
They won't do that. I'm just
They won't do
imagining a
that.
future in which
Yeah.
it really escalates into nasty.
But that's the real question. What if the courts let the administration do this?
How you doing? Sure. Hit the like button for me, please. And if you're enjoying this content, please hit that subscribe button as well, love. So yeah, we're gonna see where this head goes. But hey, we have a gazillion other colleges and universities in this country. Harvard is not the end all be all. They just have a name basically and a large price tag. Where are we here? Anthony said, God, I hope this guy has to eat his words. Yes, that'd be great. And Cheryl says, screw Harvard. Caesar, Americans are jailed and kicked out of other countries for bad behavior frequently. These guys are sickening. Yeah. I can't stand these men speaking their lies. Yes, Tina, they're just spewing lies. These two twits are hilarious. They think they're so intellectual. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, 80% of America is against their idiocy. Yes, we'll finish and then we're done.
They might.
That's the real question, right? Because then, I mean, Harvard's not breaking. Like, you know, if Harvard has to take that on the chin, they'll take that on the chin. I still don't think they'll fold. But then the next, you know, there will be more pressure against it. And if the Trump administration is able to break Harvard, then literally no university in America is safe.
Oh yeah, no, this is it. Like you can't. This is the biggest, the most well-funded university, and it sets the tone for everyone else. And I say that as a Dartmouth graduate, as much as that pains me. All right, man. Thank you for doing.
All right, folks. So, what are your thoughts on the conversation that we just had? So, again, if you join late, once I end the live, please go back. I did go and do a brief history of, you know, the Trump administration versus Harvard University, because you may have forgotten, you may have missed something. And so I wanted to give you a little background information on the escalating tensions between the Trump administration as well as Harvard University. All right. And so we'll see how it works out. Harvard would not comply. And as a result, so as you just learned, and I just learned today, roughly 30% of their student population as international students, and they would not comply. And so, hey, it is what it is. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not crying. Anthony, that is the type of guy that bought a Tesla and is now caught king. Anthony. Yes, Caesar. You know it. So again, I think Tijuana said, well, they said the Titanic was unsinkable. Yeah, so basically what they're saying, oh, it's too big to really, too big to fail, right? Don't be so sure. It can happen, folks. I agree with you. And so I'll be on tomorrow, probably 6:30, 7 o'clock ish, something like that. But this happened when I got home from work, and I was like, I need to jump on and talk about this, because this is really something. Chicago Hood. The libs have still not gotten the memo. America has taken an internal poll, and we are done with crazy libs and ratchet behavior. They're truly slow. Send them to room 9. All right, Chicago. Chris, those are the guys you lock out in a SHTF. Oh, yeah. Situation. Yes, Chris. Mike Nice, how are you? Good evening, dear. We're glad you're here, Mike. Hit the like button, love. If you are enjoying the content, hey, hit the subscribe button. Why not? And make sure it is on all notifications. Yes, Caesar, anything with education, I can't help myself. It is what it is. But anything with education, I jump right on it. Because again, this situation is continuing to escalate. And I just want to see where it goes. Yes, Baldwin, the people in the chat are on fire again. Tina, it's about getting all these illegal troublemakers out of the country. I don't know what part they don't understand. Tina, they don't get it. They're slow learners. Mike Nice said, indeed. Yeah, Mike, come on and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, love. And we'll be back tomorrow evening. Oh, Mike, and those that joined late, don't forget to go back to the beginning where I went over the history of this tense situation. All right. And just in case you may not remember, yeah, let me know what you think. All right. So that's all I have, and we'll get together tomorrow again. I enjoyed you, and I hope everyone has a fantastic. How you doing, Chris? Chris, we're done. So Chris, check out the replay. We're gonna go because it's Thursday and people are trying to get ready for tomorrow. Finally, Friday. And I can't wait. Oh, Mike, you live in Massachusetts. Mike, before we leave, what are your thoughts on this escalating situation between the Trump administration and Harvard University? I definitely want to know what you think. Wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. Baldwin said, my last day of school is tomorrow. Thank goodness. All right, Baldwin birds. Hey, sounds good to me. Tijuana said it's my work Monday. Oh, Tina, no problem, dear. Oh, Tijuana's like me. Work. Oh my goodness. Tijuana, we need a break. Oh my God. Yeah, Chris, make sure you go back, love, and check what you missed at the beginning, dear, okay? And so Harvard's trying to do the most, and their students are losing, and it's their fault because the Trump administration is like Hall & Oates, and they're singing, I can't go for that. No can do. I can't go for that. No can do. I can't go for that. Hey, I had to do some Hall & Oates. Mike, my feelings are as none of my business. Mike said it's none of my business. Okay, Mike. Mike's like, whatever. Mike, we're just glad you're here, dear. And again, please subscribe if you're not already. And Mike, we'd love for you to drop in tomorrow. Probably 6:30 p.m. Yeah, probably between 6 and 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will jump back on, and hey, we have a good time here. So Hall and Oates, yes, Chicago Hood, Blue Eyed Soul, yes. So that's all I have. And you know where I'm going next. I am going to the comment section. Which one, Chris? Chris said he has a song for me. Email it to me, Chris. I'll try to sing it. Mike, I'm subscribed and already liked. I'll try to make. Okay, Mike. Yeah, we'll be glad to have. We'll be back. Thank you, Chris. We'll be back on tomorrow, probably 6 or 6:30. I'm not sure. Tomorrow's half a day, so I'm going to get on a little bit earlier than 7 o'clock because I'll have time to do everything I need to do and come home and relax and stuff. All right, I'm coming to the comment section, and I'll stay there and communicate with you as long as you're there. If you leave, OMD. Beverly, I'm not getting notifications. I'll catch the Beverly, that is a common issue. I don't know what is going on with YT. All right, Beverly, make sure you watch the beginning, dear, because I went over the history so that you know that what happened today is a continuing escalation between the Trump administration and Harvard University. And we're going to see who's going to blink first. You too, Florida. All right, I'm going to the comment section, and I'll talk to you as long as you're there. Thank you again for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. See you tomorrow.